So we're going to venture out into the heat for this one, because I like doing interesting locations. This is the back porch. Can be fun. So I have something a little different today. Normally, when I'm doing watch reviews on here, I know everything about the watch, for the most part, movement, all that stuff. But today I don't. We're taking a look at an eBay find. This fantastic Timex Electric West Germany, probably from the 1970s. So I got into a bit of an addiction for a couple weeks there, where I was looking for a vintage watch. I wanted something that I didn't have to care about winding every day. So I'm an old manual line movement that I know probably wouldn't be the most accurate. So I'm not worried about keeping it up, or an old quartz movement. And I wanted something gold, and I wanted something with like a champagne dial or a sunburst dial, something that kind of spoke to me but was old. And I got this inspiration from seeing a vintage Omega Seamaster. So I looked around for a long time, and I ended up finding out that I really liked vintage Timex Electrics. So Timex Electrics are quartz movements from Timex from the 60s and 70s and maybe even into the 80s, that, as far as I understand, they weren't making their own movements at the time. Not quartz movements. They were buying them from other places and they were putting them in their own cases. But a lot of them have held up extraordinarily well. Like, keeps a licking, keeps on ticking. That's a Timex thing. I was really interested in getting one of those for myself. A lot of them, however, while the movements may still function, have a lot of pitting, which from what I can tell is corrosion that just gets deeper and deeper and deeper into the back of the case of the watch, causing some really ugly scarring. So it took me a while to find one that I really liked, and that was in good condition. I believe it's been serviced. I'm not 100%, but it's in extraordinarily nice condition. And I bought it for myself. So for about $111, I bought this Timex Electric. This is not the original band. I did an unboxing video where you can see all of this right when I got it. The strap it came on was just in terrible, completely like gross condition, but only on one side. It was like on the inside. It was like cracked and falling apart and gross. So that's why I immediately put another band on it. This is a band from Gitalia on Amazon. It's just a pretty simple Italian leather with a deployant clasp, which is very nice. Allegedly it's genuine leather, and it feels really nice. I love it. That's my quick review on that. But this is the watch. As you can see, it is like a dressy style watch. It's got a domed crystal. This is polycarbonate, so it's nothing spectacular. No glass, no sapphire. Not back in these days. It does have fantastic view though. The hands are the only part that is noticeably damaged. They have like a bit of corrosion on there. And then obviously, I think the 12, 3, 6, and 9 also used to be Lume, but they are just straight up brown now. Or black. I'm not sure if this is part of the original design because I can't find a reference for this anywhere, and there's no numbers on it anywhere. They were just making these and pumping them out from what I could tell. But it's in really good condition. You know, I'll get some more close-ups to show you, but there is no real big scratches. There's only slight small ones on the crystal you're not even able to see in this light. It's gorgeous. It's got a sunbursty champagne dial with a gold case, and I'm not really a big gold case guy, but this struck my fancy. It's also fairly thin. I thought they'd be a lot thicker for back in the day, but it's not too bad. And then around the back here, this is the most interesting part to this, honestly, for me. Look at the way that case back looks. It looks really different. So the crown is actually back here, right there. That's the crown, and right there is your battery. You can also take the whole stainless steel back off to get to the movement to service it and stuff, but that if you want an easy quick change battery, it's right there. Let me take the band off. So taking a look here at the back, you can see that it's in really, really good shape. There's like not a bunch of marks and gross pitting all over it. There's a little bit of like schmutz, like a tiny, tiny bit of black schmutz, but otherwise it's in great shape. There's a little bit of damage here from someone trying to pry open the battery case, but otherwise it looks really great. I'm just so happy with the astonishing condition this is in for being 50 years old. I'm presuming this is from the 70s. I really don't know. And real quick, here's a better look at that band. So in there it says Jatalia. It's kind of just cheap stainless steel. This isn't even 316L, I don't think. Looks pretty good, should age pretty well. Here's the inside. Yeah, nice quick release on that. So before we take a look at it on wrist, I do want to talk sizing. Because this is a vintage watches used to be a lot smaller, for those who may not know. A lot of vintage watches were under 38 millimeters. You know, cocktail watches for women were like this big. A really nice size, actually, it's 35 millimeters. I love the way this looks on my wrist. It's got a lug to lug of 41.2 millimeters, so it wears fairly small that way as well. I mean, you can look at it. They're not particularly long lugs. Its thickness, as we were talking about before, it's not bad. It's only 11.9 millimeters, so it wears really thin as well, thinner than a lot of my watches. And its lug width, this is the weirdest part about it and the most unfortunate part about it. It's only 19 millimeters for lug width. I wish it was 20, so it'd be a lot more compatible with different style bands. It is not. So finding a good band that's a 19 millimeter was actually kind of hard because I was only looking at Amazon. I did not want to pay out the ass for this. I think this was a $20 band. So all in all, I'm in on this watch, 130 bucks. So let's get it on wrist and we'll talk about how accurate it's been as well. So right now I'm taking off next week's video. This is the Henry Archer Ohav. Got an unboxing on TikTok and Instagram Reels and Shorts if that's your thing. So putting this on here, that wears really nice. I got a 6.6 inch wrist or so. And I just love the way that looks. If you color match this well with a blue, ignore my bare leg there, with a blue and a gray, I think this band really pops, the gold really pops, it looks good. So flipping this around, you can see that's how it looks on wrist. I love it, and it has been extraordinarily accurate. I don't know if this movement has been serviced, though I would suspect it has been because it runs so clean. This is just about as accurate as any other Quartz watch I have, and it is 50 years older than my other Quartz watches. As you can tell, you're getting some crazy reflections off this polycarbonate crystal. Not a lot to do about that. That is just kind of the way it is, but you do get some wild reflections. In person, it's a little less overbearing. You can still see the numbers and the hands pretty well, but yeah, on camera it just looks crazy reflective. I am a big domed crystal guy, and I just absolutely adore the way this looks in person. That slight warping on the dial when you twist your wrist over, I love the way that looks. Not gonna lie, I'm adding this in during the edit, but there's something I forgot to talk about, and it's the way this sounds. This only beats once per second, as you can see there, but it clangs a lot more than once per second. If you couldn't hear that, it's basically 4 or 5 ticks and then one loud one. It's odd. I've never heard a watch do that, but it's actually really cool sounding. It is also just generally quite a loud watch, like any other current Timex Quartz watch. When you think about it, a 50-year-old watch, a Quartz watch, being in such great condition, I don't know if it's been serviced, I don't know if it's been polished, but damn, dude, like $100, like this is a banger watch. Now, obviously, it says water resist on it. Wouldn't count on it after being 50 years old. Again, because I don't know if it's been serviced. There's like just no way to know. And even if it had new gaskets, it probably wouldn't matter. Like, it's just old, you know? So I'm treating this as basically maybe splash resistant. So I can't really get it wet. It does make it a little hard to wear in different scenarios because it's summertime and there's water everywhere. And I like going to the beach and I like getting wet. So it does make this a little more difficult. However, I have a wedding I'm going to coming up in July, and I'm definitely going to be wearing this to the wedding, unless I mean, it's an outdoor wedding, so we'll see what kind of crazy antics we get up to there. But this is like probably gonna go with my suit that I'm wearing. I'll shout out the eBay seller to this. He was super nice and actually sent me some of the sizing info, measured it himself so I could order a band before it got here. I'll have the eBay seller link down below. Other than that, Timex West Germany, just looking that up, you can get watches like this. But I think this one is honestly kind of special. I haven't seen a lot of ones that look like this and are in this good of condition. And I'm really blown away by how well it keeps time for being just so old. It's like, it's almost as old as my mom, you know? Like that's crazy. I am also kind of deathly afraid of scratching the crystal because it's plastic, but you can also just use polywash, which is a buffing compound, and you can buff a lot of scratches out, which is nice. So I'm terrified of it, but I'm also like, there's a solution. I think that's kind of it. I don't want to just keep rambling. So if you want to see another video about this, I've got the unboxing. I'll have that linked up in the cards. You can also check out, you know, my shorts here and on TikTok and on Instagram. I've got an unboxing of that Henry Archer, which we're going to be reviewing in the next video. I think that should probably be next week. And other than that, feel free to follow here for more watch content and reviews and things of that nature. You can also check out my gaming channel. I have a bunch of gaming videos on there from the last couple years. They're very funny, and I think they've aged pretty well. And then also check out twitch.tv/SkullHQ, where I'm live occasionally. My girlfriend and I just got back into playing some Minecraft, so maybe there'll be some streams there. Other than that, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all the social medias are linked down below. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you later. Take care.